here are the headlines for tonight. The diabetes crisis deepens as a sharp rise in amputations raises alarm in Sarawak. Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim strengthens ties in Paris with top French leaders, marking the second day of his official visit to the country. And on world news, the Kremlin has dismissed the possibility of an immediate diplomatic solution to the war in Ukraine just hours after launching its largest drone and missile assault since the invasion began. We begin with this news. Sarawak is spearheading efforts towards a high-tech medical ecosystem by introducing various innovative steps to enhance wound care and collagen production. Sarawak Deputy Premier Dato' Ahmad Dr. Sim Kui Han said that the state government is stepping beyond healthcare delivery by investing heavily in advanced research and biotech manufacturing.
According to him, Sarawak is currently drawing global attention with major companies investing in the production of high-tech healthcare products such as collagen for wound healing.
Recently, there's a company from US about all this wound management, growing collagen, all those things. They have seen Premier, they visited me, and they will start a factory in Sarawak for all this very high-tech collagen. Wound healing need collagens and need all those things to be set out in Sarawak.
Met by reporters after officiating the 2025 International Burn and Wound Conference today, Dr. Sim also said this effort opens up opportunities not only for the medical industry, but also for Sarawak's economic development as a hub for regenerative medicine and medical technology.
Sarawak is, a lot of people did not realize that Sarawak is a very important place for what I call clinical research. I mean, in the hospital type research. The research industry, clinical research pressure set up by Ministry of Health in 2013. Between 2013 and last year, right, they bring in $1 billion business. $1 billion. And so Sarawak already at the forefront of it.
Meanwhile, Sarawak Deputy Premier Dato' Ahmad Dr. Sim Kui Han raised serious concerns over a growing public health crisis, the rapid surge in diabetes cases across the nation. He warned that this trend has led to a sharp rise in amputations, particularly at the Sarawak General Hospital, due to non-healing ulcers caused by diabetes.
So almost every week in SGH, there was one case. So it got, and of course, after amputation, you got all sorts of social issues. You have the prosthesis, you have to get used to it, the mental health issue, and so on. So in order for the wound management, that is a very big market because unfortunately, Sarawak joined the rest of Malaysia and the rest of the world in having a very high prevalence of diabetes. I mean, we are almost up to 20% already.
Traditional sports such as blowpipe shooting and tug of war will be among the events contested at the upcoming 2025 Borneo Games this September. Sarawak Minister of Youth, Sports and Entrepreneur Development, Dato' Sri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah said the upcoming edition, the first since it was last held about a decade ago, will take place at the Putrajaya Sports Complex in Kuching from September 24th to 28th this year.
Jadi sukan-sukan yang akan dipertandingkan dalam sukan Borneo kali ini adalah sukan badminton, sukan lawn ball, sukan memanah, sukan olahraga, sukan renang dan dua sukan tradisional iaitu menyumpit dan tarik tali. Dan selain daripada itu ada satu sukan golf VIP. Seperti sukan golf VIP dia tidak akan ada medal. Yang lain tadi semuanya ada medal.
At a press conference after chairing a coordination meeting for the event today, Abdul Karim said there is no age limit for participation in the Borneo Games. However, former national athletes who have competed at the Olympic Games will not be permitted to participate.
Jadi mereka tidak boleh terlibat. Tapi even sukan Olimpik pun bagi saya lah, there should be some more added clause to it. Kalau dia sudah kali terakhir dia terlibat dalam Olimpik 10 tahun dahulu, dia sudah agak tua tapi negara dia but they're still good, but they're not at that competitive. Tapi it's for the technical team to discuss and decide on it. But as it is, it's open except for those that has represented the nation in Olympic Games.
Abdul Karim anticipates that the Games will attract approximately 240 participants from each contingent, representing Brunei Darussalam, Sarawak, Sabah, the Federal Territory of Labuan, West Kalimantan, and East Kalimantan. He announced that registration will open from July 14th until August 29th. Commenting on possible incentives to be awarded to medal winners, Abdul Karim said that no decision has been made so far.
I think for this, kita tidak belum sampai ke peringkat itulah. Kita belum sampai ke peringkat. Don't look at it asal menang saya mesti dapat duit. Well, organizing of this kind of activity and tournament or event, the spin-off is very, very good, especially in the tourism industry. When you see lots of them coming in, the hotel industry will be benefiting, the transportation industry will be benefiting, the food industry are benefiting practically everywhere.
Prime Minister Dr. Sri Anwar Ibrahim held meetings with two of France's highest-ranking leaders on the second day of his official visit to the country today. Anwar, who arrived in Paris on Thursday, was scheduled to meet his counterpart Francois Bayrou. Earlier this morning, he was accorded a full official welcoming ceremony by the French government at the Hotel Les Invalides. In the afternoon, Anwar held a one-on-one meeting with President Emmanuel Macron at the Élysée Palace. The key agendas discussed include trade, investment, renewable energy, semiconductors, defense, education, the digital economy and AI. Both leaders were also expected to address the crisis in the Middle East, particularly the humanitarian situation in Gaza. The Prime Minister also performed Friday prayers together with leaders of the local Muslim community at the Grand Mosque of Paris, one of the oldest mosques in France. The Prime Minister also delivered a lecture entitled Southeast Asia and Europe, Recalibrating the Terms of Engagement at Sorbonne University, a prestigious institution internationally renowned for its intellectual and cultural excellence. Meanwhile, Sarawak is making bold strides towards becoming a new player in the global shoemaking industry. It is no longer content with just producing shoes for local markets. It now aims to craft high-quality shoes that can compete with global brands. Driven by ambition and fueled by talent, local shoemakers are dreaming bigger than ever before, with a desire not just to make fashionable footwear, but to place Sarawak on the map as a global shoemaking powerhouse. Zainuddin Yusuf believes that the potential to go global is not far-fetched.
Si mustahil kita akan keluarkan produk yang sama brand, bukan brand yang sama, cuma kualitinya sama. Kita bertaraf international mungkin. So ialah jadi target kami orang lah, nang ditarget kami orang semua supaya kita pun industri kata Sarawak boleh jauh macam ni.
Echoing that optimism, his fellow shoemaker, Fazian Zaini, who highlighted how Centex, the Centre for Technological Excellence, has opened the doors for Sarawakians, regardless of age, gender or race, to learn from the best in the industry.
Kita dapati sekarang Sarawak membuka peluang dalam segi antarabangsa dalam pembuatan kasut, terutama dalam Centex. Jadi peluangnya terbuka ya pada umur, regardless orang pension kah, orang bawa staf belajar kah, budak sekolah kah, yang dah kerja kah, semua terbuka. Baik orang lelaki, baik perempuan. Jadi peluang ni, pendedahan ni, julung kali belum ada di mana-mana. Belum ada lagi mana-mana yang pernah terbabit dalam bidang pembuat kasut. Lebih lagi pendedahan dengan pihak-pihak yang memang terkenal seperti Datuk Jimmy Chu dan berbagai lagi yang kita juga didedah dengan pembuat kasut dari luar negara seperti dari Italy, dari UK.
Looking ahead, Ida Athanasir, another rising talent in the industry, is confident that Sarawak will grow into a full-fledged global shoemaking hub.
Soon, you don't just have one shoemaker, you would have 10 at a time, and then banyak sampai 20 orang, 40 orang, 50 orang.
Yeah, congratulations.
The plan for the future is, of course, we want to have a shoe industry in Sarawak, and this is how we want to start it. Tapi we want to start it global level.
These artisans are part of the inaugural cohort of the newly launched Post-Course Entrepreneurship Program, an initiative aimed at empowering Santex graduates to establish sustainable artisan-based micro-enterprises. Announcing the program was Santex CEO Dr. Syed Muhammad Hussein Wan Abdul Rahman, who also officiated the Alta Moda Musical Soiree 2 at the Waterfront Hotel. Now to world affairs. The Kremlin today said that it sees no immediate diplomatic way out of the war in Ukraine, hours after launching its largest ever drone and missile barrage of the invasion. The hours-long bombardments across Ukraine came just after a telephone call between the US and Russian presidents ended without any breakthrough.
Политико-дипломатическое урегулирование невозможно без устранения первопричин конфликта, как об этом в очередной раз сказал президент Путин в ходе вчерашнего телефонного разговора с президентом Трампом.
Journalists in Kiev heard drones buzzing over the capital and explosions ringing out through the night as Ukrainian air defense systems fended off the attack. Poland said its embassy building in Kiev had been damaged in the attack, but its staff were unharmed. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said 23 people were wounded in a barrage, which the Air Force said comprised 539 drones and 11 missiles. A representative of Ukraine's Air Force told Ukrainian media that the attack was the largest of the Russian invasion, launched in February 2022. French air traffic controllers staged the second day of a two-day strike on Friday, prompting the cancellation of hundreds of flights, not just to and from France, but also overflying the country as summer holidays kick off. Paris airports risk being even more severely affected than on the first day of the strike on Thursday, which was called by two minority unions, calling for better working conditions and staffing.
Il y a une espèce d'autogestion dans les tours de contrôle qui est particulièrement dangereuse pour la sécurité de nos concitoyens. Voilà, c'est la raison pour laquelle, pour toutes ces raisons, je ne céderai pas à ce chantage. Je crois l'avoir montré déjà pour d'autres grèves et notamment au moment des cheminots. Ma porte sera toujours ouverte en tant que ministre des Transports pour le dialogue. Par contre, le chantage, non, ça suffit.
The timing of the strike is particularly acute with Friday, the final day of school in France before the summer holidays, with many families planning an early getaway. France's DGAC Aviation Authority said 933 flights departing from or arriving at French airports were cancelled on Thursday, some 10% of the total number of flights initially scheduled. The proportion of cancellations rose to 25% at the main airports in Paris. But on Friday, the situation risks being even more severe, with the DGAC asking companies to cancel 40% of flights to deal with the strike. Those are the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Shilsh Macho. Thank you for watching and have a good weekend.